The archaeological chamber was silent except for the hum of containment fields. 23 species had gathered in the deep archive beneath the Galactic Preservation Council, their finest scholars and warriors standing before a relic that had ended civilizations. The artifact floated in quantum suspension, its surface scorched black by weapons that no longer existed, etched with symbols in a language older than most star charts. They called it the Helm of the First Destroyer. They had spent 60 years trying to understand it. The Vathek High Commander stood closest, his four arms crossed in reverence and terror. His people still told stories of the First Destroyer, the entity that had appeared during the Reaving Wars when the galaxy burned under the tyranny of the Crethon Empire. One being, one weapon, 10,000 warships reduced to debris fields. The Crethon had ruled 1,700 worlds with an iron fist, enslaving entire species, burning cultures to ash. Then she came. The records were fragmentary, corrupted by time and fear, but every surviving account agreed on one thing. The First Destroyer had worn this helmet. The First Destroyer had been unstoppable. "The metallurgy defies analysis," whispered the Quellan researcher, her crystalline form refracting light across the chamber. "The alloy contains elements that shouldn't bond. The internal mechanisms suggest neural interfacing technology we won't achieve for another millennium. Whoever created this was—" She trailed off, unable to finish. "A god," the Vathek commander finished for her. "Or a demon." The assembled representatives had debated for months whether to even open this vault. The helmet had been discovered in the ruins of the Crethon throne world, buried beneath kilometers of vitrified glass in a crater so vast it was visible from orbit. Nothing else remained. No body, no other equipment. Just this single artifact, radiating a presence that made hardened soldiers uncomfortable. Some species wanted it destroyed. Others wanted it studied. None wanted it used. The power that had worn this helmet had reshaped galactic history with violence so absolute that 3,000 years later, children still woke screaming from nightmares about the First Destroyer. Then the human walked in. She was young, perhaps 20 standard years, wearing the simple gray uniform of a Human Integration Corps liaison. Her name was Sarah Chen, and she'd been assigned to observe the proceedings, nothing more. Humanity was still new to the galactic stage, barely 2 generations since first contact, eager and curious and frustratingly casual about things that made ancient species tremble. She approached the containment field with her datapad, recording observations, completely unaware of the suffocating tension in the room. She looked up at the helmet, tilted her head, and her eyes went wide. "Oh, hell," she breathed, and something in her voice made every being in that chamber go perfectly still. "That's Mom's old helmet." The silence that followed could have smothered stars. The Vathek commander turned slowly, his translator struggling with the human's words. "You're... what?" Sarah was already moving to the control panel, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces with the easy confidence of someone who'd grown up around technology. "My mother's helmet. Combat drop gear, Terran Defense Force, early colony wars. See that scorch mark on the left temple? Plasma near miss from the Kepler 442 siege. And those symbols aren't alien, that's Mandarin, old script. Her call sign and squad number." She laughed, the sound bright and bewildered. "I can't believe you guys found this." She thought it was lost when her transport got hit over Crethon Prime. 23 species stood frozen in existential horror. "Your mother," the Quellan researcher managed, her voice fracturing. "Your mother is the First Destroyer." "Well, yeah," Sarah said, still studying the helmet with the fond exasperation of a daughter embarrassed by her parents' old belongings. "I mean, we don't call her that. She's just Mom, Captain Maria Chen, retired. She runs a flower shop on New Vancouver now. Makes really good dumplings." She paused, noticing the looks of complete terror around her. "Wait, is this a big deal?" The Vathek commander's hands were shaking. His people had built monuments to the First Destroyer, had prayed for deliverance when she arrived like an avenging angel, had watched as she'd single-handedly shattered the greatest war machine the galaxy had ever known. She killed the Crethon God Emperor. She destroyed the Imperial fleet. She ended the Reaving Wars. "Oh, that," Sarah nodded, pulling up historical files on her datapad. Yeah, Mom doesn't talk about it much. She says it was just part of the mission. Humanity had just achieved FTL when the Krethon sent a subjugation fleet to Earth. They vaporized Jakarta to prove a point. Bad move. Her expression hardened, and for just a moment, those watching saw the echo of something terrible and beautiful. Turns out the galaxy had rules about warfare, honor challenges, formal declarations, orbital bombardment limits. Humanity didn't know the rules yet. Mom was Special Forces, First Wave, Deep Strike Operations. She went alone because no one else could keep up. The chamber had become a tomb. The Quellen's crystalline form was pulsing with distressed light patterns. One human. One warrior against an empire. She didn't see an empire, Sarah said softly, and her voice carried the weight of a species that had clawed its way up from caves to stars through nothing but stubborn will. She saw someone who'd killed 5 million people to make a point. She saw bullies who thought strength meant cruelty. So she did what humans do when someone threatens the tribe. Sarah looked up at the helmet, her eyes distant. We fight like we have nothing to lose because we remember when we had nothing at all. She fought like every single one of those 5 million people mattered. Like their lives meant something. Like mercy meant something. The records say she gave them chances to surrender, the Vathek whispered, even after what they'd done. Even as she tore through their fleets, she kept transmitting terms. That's Mom. Sarah smiled, sad and proud. She always said the measure of humanity isn't how hard we can hit. It's what we do when we're strong enough to destroy but choose not to. The Krethon just kept choosing wrong. The helmet floated in its containment field, a memorial to the day the galaxy learned that humanity's true weapon wasn't fury or technology or even courage. It was the stubborn, impossible belief that mercy and strength weren't opposites. That even in the heart of righteous rage, even when vengeance would be easy, humans could stay human. Sarah requested the helmet be released to her family. The council agreed unanimously. As she left, carrying the artifact that had become legend, the Vathek commander spoke to the empty chamber. They sent one warrior and she could have conquered us all. Instead, she freed us and went home to plant flowers. Somewhere in the vast galaxy, on a small colony world, an old woman tended her garden and remembered the weight of that helmet, the heat of battle, the choice she'd made to be more than the monster her enemies deserved. Humanity doesn't ask permission to be merciful. We simply refuse to let the darkness win.